So if you who's watching this video right now is working hard and you're chasing success, but you've not yet seen the results actually show for it and flourish into your life, then you may be missing two key concepts, and we're going to be breaking these down today to show you how you can actually apply these into your life and start to see the results and the abundance actually start to come through within your reality. And these two key concepts, first things first, is Rizq. And Rizq is the provision that Allah has actually destined for you. Rizq can be an array of multiple things, whether that be material possessions, family, health, etc. The list goes on. Next up, we've got Tawakkul, which is having complete trust in Allah and His plan. But here's the thing, it's not just about working harder or praying more and going out and getting it and going along with typical hustle culture. This is not what this is about. It's about truly grasping how Rizq and Tawakkul actually work together. Because if you master these two concepts, you're going to see how efforts actually start flowing effortlessly. You're not going to be going around chase. Because as you know, the more you actually go out and chase something, the more it actually runs away. And success isn't just hustle, it's harmony with divine wisdom. Because if success was hustle, then I'm sure the construction workers, the people who are working 12, 13 hours, 14 hours a day, doing hard manual labor, they would surely be the most successful, right? But this actually breaks that barrier as regards to hustle with success. So let's break this down. The formula is actually work, trust, and flow. And this equals Allah's divine destiny. But let me break something to you. Rizq isn't just money or material possessions, as I briefly mentioned before. Rizq is actually everything that Allah provides for you, from your income, from your health, from your time, from your friends and family, your opportunities, and even the very ideas that you have in your mind. This all comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you actually slowly start to break these things down, and when you actually start to understand these, you become much more grateful. And gratefulness and gratitude is again another way to connect with the Creator, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which directly has a positive impact on your rizq. And there's also a verse here within the Quran, and it goes, and whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out, and He will provide for him from where he does not expect. And here is exactly where the art of taqwa comes in, and taqwa being God consciousness. So as you're probably aware, there's many names of Allah, and one of them being Allah is the Razak, and this is the source of all rizq, the owner of all provision, and His provision is indeed unlimited. And this comes back perfectly to a very authentic hadith from the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, and it goes, if you were to truly rely upon Allah with the reliance that He is due, then He would provide for you as He provides for the birds. They leave in the morning with empty stomachs and return full. Subhanallah. And this is the thing, man, honestly, this hadith is so beautiful. And I was out on a walk yesterday with one of my brothers, Zach, and we were sat here, and we were reflecting on life. It was sunset, the scenery was absolutely beautiful. And obviously there was a little river, there was a little stream, and I was just looking at the ducks, I was looking at the geese, and I was thinking, wow, Allah is providing for these animals. Allah is providing for His creation. And if you look at it and you think of it in a much more deeper level, Allah provides for all of His creation. Whether you're an animal, whether you're a human being, whether you're any living object within this dunya, you are getting provided for one way or another. Some, of course, more than others, but regardless, Allah provides for all. And when you truly understand this, and when you truly start to seek gratitude for what Allah has given you, this then allows you to directly attract more. Because when you're in a state of gratitude, you then go into a state of abundance. And once you're in a state of abundance, this again is where more things start to flow. And this is where you can step into the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and truly understand rizq and truly go into tawakkul, which is what we're going to break down now. So tawakkul, just to give you guys a little bit more of a further understanding, is full trust and reliance on Allah completely, while still taking the necessary steps in life to move forward. Now, understanding the last part of this description here is incredibly important, brothers and sisters. And what I mean by this is that while still taking the necessary steps in life to move forward. And I actually uploaded a reel on this very recently, and it describes this perfect. And basically what I said was, you can't just sit there and wait for gold to appear on your doorstep. You can't just sit there and wait for 100k to all of a sudden land in your bank account. You have to take the necessary steps to actually move forward, to go out there and achieve your goals. Otherwise, Allah isn't going to actually just sit there and bless you. You can't just sit there and expect, because you can't just be lazy about things. You actually have to go out there and make things happen. You have to set things in actual steps to actually go out there and make things work. Because a lot of people hear Rizq, a lot of people hear everything is written, and yes, that is correct, but you need to actually go out there and make it happen. You need to actually go out there and give Allah the actual, not the permission, but you need to give Allah the reason for him to bless you with the barakah, the reason for him to bless you with more rizq, with more blessings. Otherwise, how are you going to step into that version of you who actually is able to receive them very blessings? If you can't even manage £100, or if you can't even manage your daily expenses on a day-to-day basis, then how on earth are you actually going to manage £100,000? How on earth are you actually going to manage £1,000,000 when you haven't took the necessary steps of what it takes to actually receive that dua and receive that blessing? So again, this is something very important. And another thing as well with tawakkul, and this is something that can also catch a lot of people off guard, is going all in. And this is a big thing within hustle culture and what you see within a lot of online marketing. They say, take that risk. They say, go all in. Take that risk and see where it takes you. If you go all in, you'll make it work. And this can sometimes be very dangerous. And I myself have done this, where I've gone all in and I've done that business and I've spent all of my money and I've moved to that place and I've gone with the full hope of things actually working out. And this can be very, very dangerous. And this links perfectly to the hadith, which is tie your camel and then trust in Allah. And what he means here is, the hadith is very deep, and it goes into a story of one of the Sahaba who was at a market, and then he leaves his camel, and then, to cut a long story short, he comes back from the market, and then his camel is now gone and it's been taken. And this links perfectly to this hadith where it goes, tie your camel and then trust in Allah, meaning that you should never go all in on a situation, and you should never go all in and actually leave yourself short, because if it doesn't work out, then what exactly are you meant to do? You're going to be in a lower frequency, you're going to be in a state of scarcity, and you're going to be running around chasing things because you're trying to make ends meet. And this is not the vibration of Allah. This is not the vibration of rizq. This is not the vibration of abundance. And this is really something that you actually have to take into consideration, brothers and sisters. So let's break down some practical actions to actually feel the difference. First things first, we've got the 1 minute daily alignment. So these are tasks to do specifically after Fajr. And why I say after Fajr is this is because this is the most blessed time of the day. And there's even a hadith that backs up perfectly from the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, and he goes, "Oh Allah, bless my ummah within the early mornings." So if you can go through these alignment steps and actually implement these into your life, I guarantee you're going to see results. So after every Fajr, take 60 seconds to sit with this intention and just say, or say it in your mind, or either say it aloud, Ya Allah, you are a Razak. My provision is from you alone, and I will work hard, but I will not chase what is neither mine. And this is perfectly, and sums up everything that we have just gone through within just a few sentences. So next up, we've got Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, and this means in English, Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of all affairs. And if you simply say this 3 times as well after Fajr, alongside the 60 seconds to sit with the intention, you've then got something to end this off perfectly. And this is Ya Razak, provide from me from what I do not expect in a way that brings me closer to you. And after this, after praying Fajr, inshallah, you may be able to pray Tahajjud before Fajr as well, to really start to reap the rewards of this. But when you do these simple 3 tasks, you'll feel the oneness of Allah. You'll feel the barakah. You'll feel the blessings. And when you actually start to go through your day and you start to move with intention as opposed to scarcity, then things will just start to come and flow with you a lot more. And let me just leave you with this last slide. Always begin with the mindset of trust and not stress. Because when you go into stress, you move on a completely different frequency. And Allah is not moving in a frequency of scarcity, fear, doubt. He's running on frequencies that we can't even comprehend, we can't even imagine, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unlimited. Us as human beings are extremely limited. So always take this into consideration, brothers and sisters. Begin with the mindset of trust and not stress.